Okay, so this is the Fundamentals of Piano Theory Level 1. We're going to be doing Unit 5, half steps and whole steps, and it's super quick because it's just the one page. And if you don't have a piano or a keyboard right next to you, you may find it helpful to have that. And I'm doing my recording on my phone. That way I can just easily lift up, show you, and then put my phone right back down. So half steps and whole steps. A half step is one key to the very next key. So let me show you on the piano, and I hope that this video is not going to end up getting really shaky because I'm doing it on my phone. So one key to the very next key. So you could be going from an E to an F to an E, a B to a C to a B, or you could be going from a white key to a black key right here. So one key to the very next key. This is not a half step because you have a key in between these keys. This is a whole step. So a whole step, you could think of it as a half step plus a half step. So a half and a half equals a whole. So a half and a half equals a whole. So a half step, 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 all going up. And some of these are tricky because we want to think that only the sharps or the flats are the half steps, but that's not the case. So it says a half step is the distance from one key the very next key with no key in between. Is that a typo or am I just reading that weird? A half step is the distance from one key the very next key with no key in between. That doesn't read right. I think that's a typo. Draw the note a half step above each given note. Use quarter notes. So we're using a half steps. Now if I'm going a half step up from E, that's going to be F. It's not going to be E sharp, it's going to be F. So here's my E. I'm going up one half step. So E to the very next note is going to be F. And I already drew out, or I guess not drew, I wrote out all of my notes already on the page because that's something that we should already know. And I'm just going to now go through all of my treble clef, and then I'll just do the first one as an example again. So a half step up from G is going to be G sharp. A half step up from C sharp is going to be D. A half step up from G flat is going to be G. A half step up from B is going to be C, and that's one of those weird ones again where we have to double check it on the piano maybe. A half step up from F sharp is going to be G. Okay, now looking at the bass clef here, we need to check our clef. A half step up from C is going to be C sharp, and it says that we need to use a half note. Oh, I'm sorry. Look at me, not reading the directions. I checked my clef, but I didn't read what I was supposed to do. It says go below. Ashley, go below. Okay, a half step below C is going to be B. Okay. And now we know. And if you don't know, now you know, Mr. President. Okay, a half step below B flat is going to be A. A half step below D sharp is going to be D. A half step below F, here's another weird one, is going to be E. A half step below A flat is going to be G. A half step below G sharp is going to be G. And I should put a natural sign there. Did I not? Let's see. Let me put a natural sign here too. Yeah, there we go. And okay, so now whole steps. Now we're going a half and a half equals a whole. So a whole step, let me look. above. It says a whole step is the distance from one key to the next key, with one key in between. So A flat, up a whole step. Let's check it out on the piano. So here's my A flat. So I'm going to go up a whole step. So that's, you can think of it as 1, 2, and that's going to be B flat. You could say it's A sharp, but since they already have a flat written here, I'm just going to keep it as flats. Here's my E. If I'm going up a whole step from E, that's a half. And here's my whole. So up a whole step from E is going to be F sharp. Up a whole step from B flat is going to be C. Oops, I didn't write in my letter there. Up a whole step from G sharp is going to be A sharp. Up a whole step from D flat is going to be E flat. I didn't write in my letter again. It's too early. It's really not that early. What time is it? 9:34. How many steps have I gotten in yet today? See, 1,229. That's why. That's why, because I haven't been moving yet. E flat up a whole step is going to be F. Okay, so now we're going below. I'm reading the directions. Bass clef, C down a whole step is going to be B flat. Using my half notes. G down a whole step is going to be F. D flat. Oh, I didn't write my flat sign. Whoa, whoa, Ashley. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How did I just now notice that? Wowee. Was I like, what was my purpose of doing that? Yikes. I don't know. Wow, that was bad. At least I'm awake enough to see that. My goodness. D flat down a whole step is going to be, I'm sorry, D flat down a whole step, you could say it's going to be C flat, but let's check it out on the piano. This one's a weird one. So here's my D flat. If I'm going down a whole step, so here is my whole step down from D flat. So you could say it's B, or you could say it's C flat. That's up to you. I'm just gonna say it's B, just to make it a little easier, because I'm apparently just messing everything up today. You know, if you watch these videos every time, you'll notice I mess something up every time. It just every time. Okay, A sharp down a whole step is G sharp, but I catch it every time, so that's good, right? I hope you learn from your mistakes. Okay, A flat down a whole step is going to be G flat. As all of your teachers always tell you in school, oh, I was just testing you to see if you're paying attention. F sharp down a whole step is going to be E. And okay, so it says write H for half step or write W for a whole step. So I have a B flat to a C. So they're saying, is the distance between this note, is it a whole step or is it a half step? So B flat to C. Let's check it out. B flat to C. B flat to C. Well, there's a key in between those two notes. So that's not a half step, must be a whole step. F sharp to E, same thing, that's a whole step. G sharp to A, that's a half step. E to F, that's a half step. A flat to B flat, that's a whole step. And D to C sharp, that's a half step. Okay, so take a minute if you need to screenshot this. or pause the video, and bada bing, bada boom, Unit 5.